shut this. Shut this. There we go. Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Let me make sure we're live in the right place. Give everybody a minute or two to come in and get settled. Anybody that's joining me live, please say hi when you get here, even if you're on the replay, so I know you stopped by and I can connect with you. That was yesterday. Am I live today in the right place? Hopefully I'm in the right place. I am in the right place. Amazing. So my family is out there doing their thing, watching TV and making noise. So I'm doing this in my bedroom where I don't have enough room for a desk. So my butt hurts. I'm sitting on a pillow. That way we don't get interrupted. Today, I wish to welcome all you beautiful, magical people into my world. If you haven't met me before, my name's Angela, and I'm a transformational earth magic and manifestation mentor. And what I do is I help emerging witches, new and beginner witches, baby witches, however you want to put it, to learn how to wield the forces of nature, right? That's what magic's all about. And to step into their sovereign magical power so that they can manifest the life of their dreams. And I'm thrilled to have you join me today because we're going to talk about something that can be both exciting and challenging. This transition from a background of organized religion to an earth-based natural spiritual practice. Many of us have grown up with a specific religious beliefs and specific practices, often instilled in us by our families and our communities. These belief systems have provided us a sense of identity and belonging and guidance for a lot of us. Now, I am talking about Christianity specifically for two reasons. One, because Catholicism is where I came from. It was not pushed on me as a child, not in my home, but I went to 12 years of Catholic school. And so, but also because of the people in this group, most people that came from organized religion will have come from Christianity rather than a different religion, for the most part. You know, I'd say that 95% at least will come from Christianity if you have come from an organized religious background at all. And so because it's the most common, I'm referring to it as Christianity in a lot of ways. And then there's times where I compare the two, and I'm going to compare Christianity to earth magic or a natural practice. But I really mean the same thing for any other kind of organized religion. So just so you know, for the purposes of keeping the language as simple as possible, I'm going to use Christianity as an example. But this is also for people that come from a Jewish background, or people that come from a background of Islam, or, you know, any other organized religion. So, as we evolve and grow, some of us find ourselves drawn to a different path than the one at which we were presented when we were young or throughout our life. And there might be other paths out there that really resonate more deeply with us and our ability to change our belief systems and our values as we learn through life, right? And a lot of organized religions don't necessarily have room for this. And a lot of us these days we're open-minded, and we have access to more information than we have ever had in our history. And we like to learn and grow. And as we learn and grow, we want to be able to adapt our beliefs and our values, our beliefs to our spirituality, right? And and align that with our core values, right? The things that mean the most to us. I come from a background of organized religion, as most of you know. And so in that way, I understand the complexities and the emotions that can arise when beginning to take that transition, or even in the middle of transitioning to an earth-based spiritual practice. It can be a beautiful and liberating experience, but it can also be challenging, especially when it comes to finding your footing on your new path. One of the key elements that can greatly ease your transition is finding a supportive community like you have here. Hey, Mandy. Hey, Tina. Thank you for joining me today, ladies. I keep looking down to make sure I'm not missing any comments. My phone won't give me the comments, so I'm just doing it in both places. So finding a community for support or finding a mentor, let's talk about why that's so important. So it's important for validation and for a clear understanding of what it is that we're doing. So when you're transitioning away from your previous belief system, you're going to encounter a little bit of resistance here and there, and many of us will encounter like misunderstandings is the proper way to put it, I guess, from our friends and family. They don't understand what it is that we're doing. And a supportive community and mentor can offer validation and understanding and a reassuring, right, that you're not alone in your journey and that you don't have to walk this path alone, right? Because I find that a lot of people that I speak to that have left, especially the more stricter versions of Christianity, the ones that can honestly be considered a cult or have been called a cult, by experts, they struggle because the lack of community or the lack of validation, and it causes them to run back to what they know is abusive because they don't have the support. And it's been, since I started this journey, my intention to offer that kind of support, to kind of fill in that gap for people. It helps us with guidance. It helps us with wisdom, having a community and having a mentor, one or both. Earth-based spiritual practices often involve a deep connection with nature, and in some ways, it's a unique set of rituals and beliefs. I spoke yesterday on the live about how you don't have to believe really too much of anything to have an earth-based spiritual practice, and that's beneficial in so many ways. But having a mentor or even a community or someone just to ask questions to can provide valuable guidance and wisdom as you learn about the practices and what their significance is, It helps to have a community for emotional support because this transition can be emotionally challenging for people. You might experience a sense of loss or confusion. People go through a grief process when leaving an organized religion. The supportive community offers a safe space and a place to express your feelings and your emotions that you're going through and receive that emotional support that can be so important. It's also important for learning and growth. Learning about a new spiritual path can be a little overwhelming, and we most of us have this perfectionist within us that we think that if we don't know enough about something or we don't have the right tools that we're not going to do it right, or that we could do something wrong, and that's just good thing that's not the case with this, but it can help you navigate these intricate little parts of the chosen practice that you're choosing. And so what are some ideas that one would take, or some ideas that one could take with them to be able to find this kind of community or this kind of mentor? Now, you guys are here in this place, and this is a great place to be, but there are also other opportunities, right? So there's online communities. The internet's made it easier than ever to connect with like-minded individuals, and look at how much it's helping people. looking for online forums or social media groups, websites, local gatherings. So checking for local meetings, workshops, or events related to earth magic or natural magic can be great places to connect with other people and meet people. If you're going to seek out mentors, right, it of course does not have to be me. If you're in a position financially to afford a mentor, I recommend it because it's a shorter path from A to B than you would take if you were just going to read books and practice on your own. But it's not necessary. It's not 100% necessary. It's a shortcut. But seek out mentors or teachers who align with what you believe, right? And they can provide one-on-one guidance, and they can give you mentorship that's tailored to your specific needs. There's plenty of people out there that are teaching about magic and natural spirituality. Now, what I believe is different in what I do from what I've seen out there is that I take the basics of earth magic and natural spirituality and I merge it with a transformational coaching program. And to my knowledge, there aren't any like it out there. There aren't many out there like it. If there are any, to be honest, I haven't seen any on my, I haven't seen any, at least not in the same way. I offer one-on-one mentoring as well, but even in my program, there's a much higher touch point where clients will get one-on-one attention. They'll get accountability and they get hand-holding to match their needs, right? And so there's not there's no one left behind. I'm not just dumping people into a course and leaving them to learn it for themselves. There is a lot of individual guidance built into it so that people don't just have to fend for themselves, right? And there's always a place to go to ask questions to get support. There's also books and resources, and don't underestimate the power of books and educational resources that are out there. Many authors and practitioners share their knowledge in written form, which can be incredibly insightful. You can learn a ton from books, and I highly recommend reading all kinds of magical material, as it will also help you to understand the different kinds of magic and the different types of spiritual practice that are out there, and it can help you recognize what might be in alignment for you, right? Either as the next step on your path, or just finding out whether you're in the right place and you're following the right kind of people and you're in the right kind of communities or groups. Because in the beginning it can be confusing. So before we dive a little bit deeper into finding support, let's just take a minute to explore the differences and the similarities between Christianity and earth-based or spiritual beliefs, magical or spiritual beliefs. So these differences, I think, are what most people focus on, and it does play a significant role in the journey, right? Is navigating the differences between the two belief systems or practices, whatever it is however you want to call it. But I also think that the similarities are just as important. In fact, I think they might be more important in a lot of ways, because the similarities give us an understanding of the core beliefs that we have while we're working through one of these. So if you, and why they're different, right? So, for example, Christianity is monotheistic. It's centered around the belief in one God, and that includes the Holy Trinity. So the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Earth-based spiritual practices often embrace polytheism or pantheism. They acknowledge multiple deities, spirits, or an interconnected web of life. So here's an example. I adapted this for myself. I do not believe in many gods, meaning I don't believe in multiple creators. I believe in gods and goddesses, and that they're beings, and that they are more spiritually and consciously developed than us. And I believe that they also come from the same source. They come from the Creator, and that they can be our guides and they can assist us on our journey. But they are not the Creator. They are not God. And so even though they have God God's life flowing through them. They have source energy flowing through them, just like us. They just are souls that are more spiritually developed than we are. And that's how I view it. So using, asking them to lend their power in a ritual, things like this, I don't typically do it, but I have my belief system set up in a way that I can utilize those parts of earth magic, or those parts of a natural spiritual earth-based practice without it infringing on my core beliefs. Because at the core, I do believe in the interconnectedness of everything, and I do believe that there's only one source that everything comes from. And so this is what we do. We ask ourselves what it is that we believe, and we adapt to make it fit. And that's the coolest part about this, I believe. And that's probably one of the most rewarding parts of leaving an organized system of religion and walking into a very free and individualized earth-based practice. There's a deep reverence for nature as well in earth magic, and seeing that as sacred and interconnected is different from Christianity in a lot of ways, and people who are traditional probably would disagree with me, but people who are open-minded and less traditional, less fundamental, would probably agree that, like, regarding the earth itself as a deity in earth-based practices is not really too different from honoring, say, the Mother Mary in Christianity. So it's not, you can look at it in the way that it's not necessarily God, but it is the part of God. It is that branch that comes off from Creator that is the nurturing force in the world. And so it could be looked at in that way. And I think that being able to look at things in this kind of way is really helpful for us as we adapt to a new belief system and to a new reality. Now, the rituals in Christianity include often Mass, the Eucharist, confession, maybe even prayers to saints, like in Catholicism. Then you have places like churches and cathedrals that play a big role. You have a liturgical calendar, so a calendar that marks the important events in the life of Jesus and in the saints' days that guide the worship cycle. And then on the other hand, earth magic rituals revolve around the cycles of nature. So you have equinoxes and solstices and lunar phases. Practitioners often work with, instead of saying, say in Catholicism, they work with saints. Well, saints are not God, but they're of God, right? And they follow God. So in earth magic, we work with elements. Well, the elements are part of the creation. They're part of the earth and the creation, in which what animates them is source energy that flows from God, right? And so it's helpful for me to take notice that the rituals are really not that different, and that if you ask me, I think Jesus was a wizard. I think that what they do at Mass, at the altar, is a ritual. It can't be considered anything else. And that's witchcraft. It's just approved by the church because it's being done by someone who is trained by them. Okay, so we can train ourselves, and because we now know that we don't need an intermediary, right? And there's still nothing wrong with going and participating with that too, if that's what you want to do. Witchcraft is not synonymous with any specific belief system, and it can be incorporated into any other belief system. And so there are Christian witches out there. And now I do understand that can be argued because of the whole having to call yourself Christian. Technically, you're supposed to claim that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. And a lot of pagans or a lot of people that practice witchcraft believe that that's giving away their power. I personally believe that as well. But if that's not a conundrum for you, then more power to you. You can absolutely have the best of both worlds. We can have it all. We can have it all. It's just up to us to step in and show up as that person who has it all and find a way to make it work with our belief system. And so embracing this earth-based type of spirituality can involve a profound shift in perspective, but at the same time, it's not as wildly different as a lot of people might think. And it's not just about adopting new rituals. It's about rewiring your understanding of the divine and your place in the natural world. Where do you come in? And as you transition between these beliefs, keep an open heart and an open mind. Be patient with yourself. Remember that your path is uniquely yours. Surround yourself with those who uplift and support you in your spiritual growth. And I wanted to, before I hop off, thank you all for joining me today on this journey. And I wish you the best in your transition and your journey of self-discovery. I hope that this discussion has been insightful and helpful for some of you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to, in the comments or in the group, share your own experiences. You're always welcome to do so in the comments, but you can message me privately as well if you would like. So until next time, I hope that your spiritual journey is filled with love, and I hope that I hope that it's full of moments of growth that aren't too uncomfortable. And I hope that you are beginning to form a connection to the earth's magic. I am going to put some questions that I found profound during this transition on the wall tonight in the group. I'll put some questions in there in case any of you would like to use them as a journal exercise to help you in your transition. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you guys have any questions before I hop off? Let me hop in here and see if anybody's talking to me. Hey, Tina! You didn't grow up with any religion. That's actually good. That's easier for you that you didn't grow up with a religion. That's good. Then it's not a big transition for you. You like it? I love it. I love it too. You're adorable. You're adorable. Anybody have any other questions before I end here? Thank you so much for joining me live. I'll be here probably a few times between now and next Thursday, but every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, I am here live with another episode of Waking the Witch. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.